Hi everyone, I'm Maria Taylor, an ESPN anchor, reporter, and analyst. College Game Day is a show that is basically a staple for the college football fan. It is the way that people start their Saturdays, and our goal on game day is to make sure that the college football fan is fed with all the news and information and storylines that they need to know how their team is going to perform and how the college football landscape looks. When I joined the team last year, it was literally a dream come true. It's a show that I grew up watching every single Saturday. I sat by my TV screen waiting to see Corso put on the headgear, and it's just something that brings people together. And so at Game Day, that's what we are. We are a family speaking to the college football fan. So I gave my life to Christ as soon as I graduated from Georgia because I realized that I am in no way, shape, or form in control of my destiny or where this road called life really leads us. And the moment that I did, I felt like this huge release of stress of trying to put things in order for myself and realize that God would order my steps. And I have to say that that is one way that I can go to work every single day and know that I'm in the right place. I know that my life is on purpose because I've put my life in the hands of a purposeful God and someone that is always watching over me. And it also makes it easier being in a world where at the end of the day, I am an outsider looking in. I work in a male-dominated field, and although everyone that I work with makes me feel very comfortable and is easy to be around, there are still times when you have self-doubt. And during those times, I really have to pray and ask God for confidence and ask Him to remind me that I am His daughter and that I am a masterpiece, that I'm wonderfully made. And it's something that I try not to ever forget when I'm on the road, when I'm doubting myself, when I'm not sure if I belong. And that's how faith has guided me to where I am today and will continue to guide me on every step of this journey. And in the same ways that I'm there when someone's at the top of their game, I have to document when something goes wrong because that is sports. There's a winner and there's a loser, and so you have to deal with both sides of that. And then also I covered the University of Georgia in the national championship game when they lost on the very last play, and I had to speak to Jake Fromm, the quarterback, in the locker room afterwards, and here's a 19-year-old that went to double overtime, won a Rose Bowl, turns around, makes it to a national championship, and was a play away from actually winning that title, and have to speak to him right after. And I just remember him having like a slight grin on his face and saying, you know what, like, I have faith that this team will be back. We're going to learn from this, and we're going to turn the leaf over and use it as fuel moving forward. And at 19, in that moment, he still had the presence of mind, and he is driven by his faith as well, to know that this isn't the end, and that there's a plan in everything, that God has a plan for everyone, and through the losses, you can learn something that can lead you to victory. One of the biggest mistakes I've ever made on national television happened when I covered the Rose Bowl for the first time, the granddaddy of them all, the one that everyone sits around their television and watches on New Year's Day. And it was my first time ever working with Brent Musburger, Jesse Palmer, and Stanford has just won the Rose Bowl. Christian McCaffrey has set every Rose Bowl rushing record that you could ever think of. And we were just talking about him as a Heisman candidate. He had lost the Heisman, and it seemed like he made a statement in that game. They throw down to me, and my question is about his production and how he managed to have such a great game, but instead of saying production or productivity, I use the word productician, which is not a word at all. And Christian, of course, is graceful. He answers the question, but as soon as I say it, my whole body just sinks. I remember talking to my mom because she came out to California with me, and she said, listen, no one cares. You are going to be on television a day from now, and you have to allow yourself, or you have to forgive yourself, otherwise you're never going to move forward. I took more than 24 hours to recover from it, but from that point on, I've had a 24-hour rule. I will not sit on a mistake for longer than 24 hours. I'm going to learn it and help it or use it to power me forward. And a year ago, I worked the Rose Bowl again, and it was amazing. My alma mater was in it, and I remember my dad calling me afterwards. He said, how about the fact that God brought you back to the same place that you made your biggest mistake, put your alma mater there, you worked the first overtime game in Rose Bowl history, and you walk away feeling like, you know what, that was a victory. So your loss turned into a victory, and God made it a path through the exact same stadium. Being the first black woman ever to be a co-host on College Game Day comes with a certain level of pressure. I understand that when a young black girl at home turns on her TV, she sees something that she's never seen before, and it's something that I never saw. I never thought that I could be on College Game Day because I never saw a reflection of me on that show. I didn't know how that I could be on the sidelines. You know, there weren't as many examples. I saw Robin Roberts, and I've always wanted to be her, but that is the one that I kind of tied myself to. So every time that I step on to a stage or I'm on camera, I think to myself about the young men and women that are at home that could possibly be affected by seeing a positive image on TV, and I just want to change the way that they see themselves in the mirror and the way that they see the window to their future. So every single day I take on that responsibility if I can, and even if it's a small idea that, you know what, I see the window into my future and it could lead to TV or it could lead to this, then that's great. Which is one of the reasons why I started a nonprofit called the Winning Edge Leadership Academy, which is dedicated to helping women and minorities find their place in sports. And I have an amazing network thanks to the job that I get to do every single day on ESPN. So I work with colleges and universities and sport the professional level to find entry-level jobs and internships for minorities and women. And we just finished our very first ever retreat. We had 16 student athletes come to Miami. We spent 4 days with them and just helping them prepare for real life situations and giving them the opportunities to network with colleges and sports and the industry in general. And so many of our kids walked away with a renewed sense of energy and feeling as though, you know what, I could be someone that breaks down a barrier. I can have that job in sports, although I've never seen anyone look like me in that role. And that's the goal. Like, experiencing, enhancing, and encouraging is what the Winning Edge Leadership Academy is all about. So let me tell you why everyone should care about college football. Because these student athletes work their tails off. They are not professional athletes that are paid. They genuinely are there because, one, they have a true love for their university, and two, they love the sport that they play. Some of them do have a future, but when you look at it, there's not a very big percentage of the student athletes that are going on to play professionally. So at this time, this is the brightest light that they're ever going to have shine on their athletic careers. And so it's fun to always see how the fans, one, support them. It's just a different vibe. If you have never been to a college football game, you should most certainly go. It feels more like a family than it does fandom, and college football fans are some of my favorite fans in the universe.